go. Alright, this is Bastion's art stream, and I am your host, Horatio Bastion Wells the Third. And we're gonna paint that. The only reason his little cleaver thing is already painted is because I had some paint left over from a different thing, and just put it on there. And as you can see on that, there's bits of it where I didn't quite get thick enough, and there's like a lighter spot. Oh hey, the autofocus worked for once. Nice. Now if you can just keep doing that, that would be great. So this particular one, just in case either you weren't here last time or I forgot to hit recording before I talked about it, I ordered a couple of Bastions and Andes off of Hero Forge, and I just got the STL file, and then I got a guy in my shop who has a 3D printer. For a small fee, he printed out my guys, and this thing he made is like a test mini to see how well turn right, turn volume up, can barely hear you. Okay. Let me see if I can. Alright. How's this? Can you hear me now? Oh, shit. I've got to get this setup figured out. Oh no! Oh no! I'm about to wreck everything on this desk. Okay, cool. Okay, so as I was saying, I got a guy in my shop, printed this out, and he printed this out as like a test to see how well his printer was able to handle a bunch of small details, because it is a bunch of small details. Well, you can barely see it now because of the black, but you'll be able to see it later when I get it. But you can see a little bit now with the spines on the head. There's a lot of little ones. He also came with the little stand, which is a lot of detail going on this guy. It took me a little bit to get the clippings off because of how 3D printing works. There's like little sticklers. That's what I call them. I don't know what they're actually called. Either sticklers or pricklers, one of the two, I'll say. But the prickles, or the pricklies, or something around in that order. So if you hear anything close to that when I'm painting minis, that's what I'm talking about. So let's see. Anyways, he printed this as a test and had no use for it because he doesn't play D&D or Warhammer or anything like that. He just printed this as a test, and rather than just having it as scrap or melting it down to reuse or whatever, he was like, "Do you want this?" It's like, "Yeah, I'll take that. I can use a gigantic dragonborn warrior guy." So you know. Oh, we got 4 whole viewers. This is awesome. This is most I've had in a little bit. Usually I'm stuck at like 1 or 2. There was one time I did get up to, I think, 7. But welcome everyone. I hope you're enjoying it. This part's sort of boring because I'm just putting the base coat of black on him. But it does get more interesting as it goes along, because this one's going to have some layering going on that you'll see as like a easy mode, kind of showing what's going on for when I paint my dragons later, and some of my more complicated figurines. because the layering is going to be what gives it certain effects. Well, yeah, that's good. That's good right there. Look at that. Boom. All right. So the reason I'm not painting the base, other than the stonework that's on there, is because that's liquid that's going on. That's the white part. It's like bubbling, bubbling up. You can kind of see the ripples and stuff. I got to figure out the autofocus. I got to figure out if there's a way to set it so it focuses faster, or I can use an item to make it focus on a specific thing. But anyways, alright, cool. So now that he's done, while he's drawing, that water is going to be like a green, like a acid kind of thing, kind of glowing sort of. So I'm not going to paint that as base coat of black because I want it to shine. But yeah, so where's my little holder thing that I got? I specifically bought this holder. There it is. There we go. So I got this for the last stream. It's a Citadel color. It holds your minis of different sizes and stuff. I didn't use it on him because it's just awkward because there's no base, but it opens up to hold different sizes, and it really helps. Like, look at that. I don't have to help with like putting them down and stuff. And maybe if my hand's not really, nope, well, it was worth a shot, I guess. Come on, there we go. Oh, look at that. Bam. All right, cool. So yeah, I'm not going to use it right now because I need to get to like the bottom of the base, but I'll use that in a second. While he's drying from his black paint, I'm going to be putting it on these guys so that it's all drying in more or less the same amount of time. And I can get started on any kind of shared colors. So like some of the armor might be leather, so I'm painting brown over several different figurines, so I'll just do that all at one time. It helps with saving paint, it's not so much waste. Rather than putting down 8 different colors and then using all of them and then moving to the next mini and then some of it's dried out and you've wasted some. So I like to use a color up, and then obviously there's always going to be some waste. I'm not perfect. I don't know the exact size of blot I'm going to need, things like that, but I do try to make sure I don't waste too much. Alright, so how do I get in there? Can I do that? Can I get in? Nope, that's not gonna work. How about if I go above? Can I do that? Yes. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm going to do that, and when I set him down, I'll just paint the sides where my thumb and fingers were wiping off the paint. So normally what I'm going to be doing is watering down the paint so that it's not a thick globule, but for the black I kind of want it. It's already watery anyways. I don't know what's going on with this particular bottle of black paint, but it's already kind of watery anyways. So I don't really need to water it down. And I'm also brushing it to make it thinner than it would normally be. Because you don't want it too thick, because especially with smaller items, there's a lot of detail going on. And if you put it on too thick, some of that detail just goes missing, and you don't want that. You want all the detail you can get in there. Make it look nice, make it look more presentable, make it look more impressive when your players see all the work you've been putting into this guy. So the 2 gentlemen that I'm painting today, I haven't named the Dragonborn. I don't know what I'm going to have him be called, but I'm holding in my hand my personal character, Horatio Bastion Wells the Third. And the one that I was just doing was Horatio Bastion Wells the Third, but also with his dog companion, Andy. Uh, and there will be something different about Andy from the previous one. If you remember my last stream, where he's all colorful and stuff, there'll be something different about that Andy, but I'm not going to say what. For this chair, I'm going to try something different. I'm not going to give it the base coat of black, but I'm going to, oh, sorry, about that chair. I'm not going to do the base coat of black because I want to see if I can maybe make it look that more grounded and real without doing that. And I'm going to use that as the test of it for that. There's still some that needs to dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint. We're not going to paint those guys the base coat of black. We will paint the barrels. We're going to paint our terrain guys. There we go. Certain characters. Today's message brought to you by Horatio Bastion Wells III. Yes, exactly. Now, these minis, well, not these particular minis that I just finished painting, because I just told you they were printed out by a guy at work, but the minis that I'm painting currently, and I just realized I was off stream again. Minis that I was painting, that I'm painting currently, I got from a store called Kappa Castle. It is in, it's near American Village. I want to say it's in Chatan, Okinawa. Cool guy. If you're ever in Okinawa and you need some stuff, or you just want to talk to a person and hang out with a really cool dude, go to Kappa Castle. It's an American-owned business in Japan. He sells like English products, books, board games, some comics. He's got the full thing of Dragon Ball Z and the full set of Demon Slayer, which I kind of want to get the Demon Slayer. I don't think I ever asked, is there a Horatio Bastion Wells the first? Well, that, my dear friend, is in spoiler territory, and we will get to that eventually. But it will be answered, I promise. But yeah, that's part of the lore, as Matt Pat says. But yeah, I got these minis and the little holder thing, and the paints. Not these paints, but the really nice Citadel paints I got from Kappa Castle. Love a good lore. Do love a good lore. Hopefully it is a good lore and it's not just like a, I think it's good and then it just turns out to be crap lore. That would be disappointing. Let's see. Paint this. So when it comes to actual colors, and I'm getting like the browns and tans in here, I will be more careful with where I'm gripping it, so as to not keep wiping off the paint. It's like, watch this. Okay, so just to show you what I'm talking about, I'm going to paint this black right here, right? And then I grip it to turn it around, and then, oh no, it came off. So you gotta be careful. Right now I'm just getting it covered, and what I'll do is I'll set it down onto the least area possible, and I will get that paint on there like that. That way I can then set it down and move it with the brush so I can get that last couple of spots. There we go. Alright, now for the barrels. Maybe I'll paint one barrel with the black base and then one without it and see if I can get it to match, since it's going to be, they're identical barrels. Maybe I can see about getting it to to match, and we'll be able to see if there is a difference, and if there is, what it is, and which one we like better. Two viewers. So I'm not doing a whole lot of close-ups right now because there's nothing really to see. It's just a base coat. But when we get to the color mixing and everything, then we will show off a little bit. That way you guys can see what I'm doing and see what you like and what you don't like, what you think's a good idea, what you think's a bad idea, so that when you go to do your art, you have that concept and you have different things you can try. And if for whatever reason one thing doesn't work, you have the other ideas to go with. Alright. Oh man, I missed a whole section of this barrel. Whole section. There we go. Okay, how are these guys doing? They still look pretty wet. They are indeed pretty wet. So we'll just keep doing this base coat until we get to... We'll just go ahead and base coat these guys, because they're going to need the base coat anyways. Actually, I'm not going to base coat these guys. We will base coat other guys. And base coat these fellas. So what's everybody been up to? What have my 3 viewers been doing? Been watching movies? Or been watching shows? Any good anime recommendations? Book recommendations? Just strolling on TikTok? Let's see. As soon as the first figurine has dried, then we'll move on to that and stop doing Bennett class all day. Kids are driving me nuts. Yeah, that'll happen. That will happen. Let's see. If you like the channel, if you like what I'm doing, just give it like a little subscribe so that you can get notified whenever I'm going live. If you're watching this as a recording on YouTube later today, like and subscribe so you can always get notified whenever I upload one of these streams after I'm done. I suppose I could try to stream on YouTube too. I have the thing so I can dual stream or multi-stream. I'll have to try to get that set up. But yeah. I need to get more. Let's see, I watched the Saudi in class break torque on a bolt, put the ratchet onto it to screw it off, tighten it down because it was set wrong, and break torque on it and do it again. Huh. Well, that's Is he like new? Is he new to this? Has he done this before? Or is he like been doing this a while? Brand new, you know. What do you mean by it was set wrong? Like he was saying it was set wrong, or was it like something, like was it cross-threaded or something? was set. Oh. Okay. I thought you were saying the bolt was set wrong. The wrench was okay. I got you. I got some guys from that are visiting that were curious about Dungeons and Dragons and how that works. Well, one guy was curious. The other guys have already played before. Some are newer than others, but uh, I told them I'd run them through a couple of things just to show them what it's like and see how they like it. So that's what I'm going to be doing later today. Slight rant, they all. uh, yeah, that's the thing, and sometimes you got to deal with people who just cannot be left unsupervised. And then it's your fault when things don't get done. Uh, but yeah, no, I got some guys coming over. That's what we'll be doing later today. I'm gonna be using this table, finished or not, onto it. I need to get my setup back up again from before with my projector maps and everything. But I don't know how I'm going to do that because I don't have the table with the custom leaf that I built for it to hold the shelf for the projector. So I'm going to have to figure that out and see how I'm going to do that. Alright, well, those guys are still wet. So pour a little bit more black down. Got like a little bench to go with the table, so you know, there's that. But one of the guys in this campaign or series of one shots or however this is going to turn out wants to be a werewolf, and I made a little werewolf guy. I took a head off of a wolf and like melted out a hole to put the wolf head on top of the head of the body for the guy. So now he can transform. I don't. He's over on the table, so I'm not going to show him right now. I might show him before the stream ends if I remember. But I need to figure out where to put this microphone. It's not going to be in the way, but we'll still, because I'm not speaking directly into the microphone right now, so I got to remember to speak up so that you guys can hear me. And since I don't normally speak up and I just kind of talk and it's kind of low sometimes, a lot of the times, the microphone might not pick it up, so I gotta like make sure that I'm watching that. And I can see like the movement of the bar whenever I speak, so I can see how far it's going up to see how loud I'm being, which is nice for two reasons. One, I can try to make sure I'm loud enough for the stream, and two, I can make sure I'm not being too loud for my neighbors. So this is like a little mug. It came off of one of my minis, but I'm not going to put it back on the mini. I'm just going to have it as like a mug to set down on like a table. I really need these guys to dry. I'm running out of space to put all the things that I'm painting right now. I finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine yesterday. Finally saw the last episode. is on Netflix. At least the Japan Netflix. Is a pretty good send off, you know. Um, wasn't like it was like Game of Thrones or How I Met Your Mother, where it was just like that's the finale, or Supernatural. I love Supernatural. There were some things that I disagreed with in terms of storytelling, but it's a really good show and I love it. But they could have just stopped at the penultimate episode, the episode before the last one, and not done the last one. I thought that one was kind of disappointing. Um, but it is what it is. Uh, I need to get the box set. They have all 15 seasons out now on box set. I want it. I don't know anything about Supernatural except super gay hell. Um, Oddly enough, not really. Um, most of the demons, if they show any sexuality at all, are like straight. There is like Crowley, who's whatever, um, especially when it comes to messing with people. But most of the demons are don't really do sexual things, but if they do, it's usually in a straight manner. It's usually the humans that are the super gay ones. Uh, and then, of course, the fan ship of Destiel, which is not canon, but it is a very, very popular fan ship. Wasn't there some character that he revealed as gay and then he immediately dies and goes to hell? I want to say there was, but it wasn't for that reason. It just kind of worked out that way. But I don't remember the episode that happened in. So I'd have to rewatch it. Oh no, I gotta rewatch Supernatural. What am I ever gonna do? Uh, which I was planning on doing anyways. I'm gonna watch Voyager first though. uh, but yeah, I want to say that did happen. I just don't remember when it happened. Um, One of my favorite seasons was season 7, where you had the Leviathans, and the leader of the Leviathans was running for political office without revealing himself as the Leviathan, because he wanted to enact laws to help them take over. But his chosen name was Dick Roman, and the whole season, the entire season, and into season 8, was nothing but jokes about that name, and it was so great. I love that. Um, but yeah, uh, there was also an episode where it was their musical episode, which that was a kind of a disappointment because I wanted an actual for real music episode. And when you have characters who are reality warpers and God himself, you can put in a song and dance that people can't help to do, and then they got to figure out kind of like Once More Feeling, the musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, um, where it was like a magic and they had to figure out how to stop it. But the musical episode was a play. It was a musical play in a high school about fans of the supernatural books that had come out in Universe. And it was so funny because they had the one playing uh, um, Dean and the one playing Sam flirting with each other, and Dean was super uncomfortable considering he and Sam are brothers. And the girl, the one who like wrote the screenplay or whatever, was just he's like, they're brothers, right? And she's just like, well, yes, but the subtext is there. And he's thoroughly disgusted with this. I think more so that it's his brother than it's another guy, but it's still just so funny. At one point in the finale, he's like, sub all the text you can. Is super. Yeah, I know. They even have a name for that particular shipping. It's called Wincest because they're Winchesters. Is their family name. It's gross, but it's certainly the Tumblrite ship of the century. I'll tell you that much. Uh, and I think the whole episode was seriously written just to make fun of the Tumblrite shippers. I think this barrel is open. You can kind of see um, on this guy. Maybe if I can angle it properly. I don't know. Maybe I can't. But you can kind of see there's like an opening for this one. Uh, I think I'm going to paint the inside of that with like some neon or glow in the dark stuff to see if I can't get it to like give a little bit of light out of it just to do it. It's going to be just kind of water or wine or whatever, but who knows? Maybe I can have it like holy. It's a barrel of holy water or something. I'll paint a little cross on the outside. Put a goblin in there and name him Grouch. Um, if I shave off a little bit, um, it might fit. I think I have another barrel that is slightly bigger. Um, I thought I grabbed it. I guess not. Oh, there it is. Let me see if a goblin will fit in this guy. No, still gonna have to shave off. But I could do that. I can shave off a little bit of the vase, and there you go. We got a little Oscar. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Make a little Oscar the Grouch. Yes, you are, Skell, and I appreciate the help. Or maybe not Oscar the Grouch, because that's copyrighted, but I can name him something. I'll look up a synonym for Grouch. I can name him like Boscar the Upset. Rasco the Perturbed. He should be dry enough for us to at least get the bottom of him done after this one. That way we can get started on painting actual colors in. About an hour in, we got 2 more hours for the stream. I want to get as much done as I can. I'm not going to rush because I want this to look nice. But I do need to get some more terrain packs with like tables, chairs, benches, boxes. Especially like tables, long tables, short round tables, whatever, and chairs for the tavern scenes. I need to figure out how to have my setup without all the cords getting in the way. Like my microphone and stuff is like stuck on one side of me because all the cords, my camera is stuck right there because of the cords. Unfortunately, because I'm using a new webcam that I just bought yesterday instead of my usual GoPro to conserve my GoPro batteries. But and because I wanted to see if I could get something with a working autofocus feature. But I need to see about getting it so I can maybe put the camera over my shoulder and my microphone more in front of me. But I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm new to the streaming thing, so we'll get it sorted eventually. Alright, so this is going to be the last one we're painting all black before we start on the guy. What should we name this Dragonborn guy? Ugh, what are good Dragonborn names? He's going to be an acid style breath weapon. Let's call him Morning Breath or something. Scott. I like it. Name him Scott. He doesn't realize how bad his breath is. No one wants to tell him, but everyone makes fun of him. Some bald guy who looks suspiciously like Matt Damon steals his girlfriend. I wonder if there's a way I can get the stream comments up onto the YouTube video. I don't know. I don't think so, but I'll have to see. One viewer. So is my boss fitting name. I lost a viewer. Oh. Alright, so I think maybe from now on, the ones that I'm gonna prep the ones that I'm going to paint on stream, and just go ahead and paint them black so that I can go ahead and start painting the colors on stream. So, I think with 3 videos now of me doing this, I think we've gotten the point. This is what I do. So it'll help move things along, make it a little more interesting at the start. Oops, missed the side here. Maybe paint the base different colors so we can see. Well, the reason I'm painting the base black is so that it'll I'll show you guys when I paint one of the ones that I didn't paint it black, like this guy. And then, because I've got an identical one right there that I already painted black, and I'm leaving it so we can see the differences. Since they're identical, we'll be able to see. And I'll show you what I'm talking about when it comes to that, as to why I'm doing a base black paint. Alright. Okie dokie. Forgot to grab. I gotta use these weird napkins they have in Japan. Okay. Alright. Make sure this is not going to get on anything. Sweet. Okay. So, let's paint this guy that yellow-green. Let's see. We're going to... I'm going to say yellow-green or yellow-blue earlier. I think it's yellow-green. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this glow. Bring this. It's a glow in the dark yellow. Base my Necrons in brown. It really brings out a bronze look. Yeah, you had to match the base with what you're going for. So, the Necrons, those are the undead robot guys from Warhammer. So yeah, you want that bronzy metallic kind of look to it. So yeah, I can see you painting it in a base brown for that. So I've got from these guys are from a board game based off of Ruby. This is Weiss. I also have Yang, Ruby herself, Blake, and Penny. I am not doing a base coat. They were originally all just one color. I just painted a skin tone. I'm not doing a base coat on those because of the cartoony feel of the series. I don't want it to have that grounded, realistic look to it. For these guys, so this is from another board game called Journey, Demon's Wrath. And this is Tripitaka, or Xuanzang. It's XUA and ZA in G, I think. I don't know. Tripitaka. It's much easier for me to say. It's the main guy from the Journey to the West series. This is Sandy. So, if you've not read Journey to the West, it's about this guy going to the West to get the scrolls from Buddha so he can bring enlightenment back to the East. That's Journey to the West. So this is Xuanzang Tripitaka. He's the main guy. He's the pure monk trying to get these scrolls. This is Sandy. He's a demon. I believe he's like a nice guy, but he is a demon. And part of his punishment, his repentance for his past sins, is to help Tripitaka. This is Pigsy. Same deal. Used to like eat people. Not a good, but repentance and all that stuff. Penance. This is what everyone knows from Journey to the West. This is Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. Let's see if I can get him a little closer. I don't know if it's gonna focus or not. These guys I'm not going to do a base paint on because they're like heavenly type creatures. I don't want that grounded feel to it. I'm gonna let their colors shine through. If you've not read Journey to the West, a lot of things have been based off of it, like a lot of things. So the most famous is Dragon Ball Z. So you have Goku, Bulma, Paul was the cat. I can't remember the pig guy's name. He was always horny along with Master Roshi. And then I want to say this guy was Sandy was the base for Wolf Fang Fist guy, useless fella. Oolong, yes, Oolong was the pig guy. What is the? what is the useless guy? He's always picked on for being like the weakest dude in Dragon Ball Z just because he does Wolfang Fist. He was a big part of Dragon Ball. He died in pretty much the first fight in Dragon Ball Z with the Saiyans. No, not Krillin. The one even more useless than him. He got with Bulma, and then Bulma broke up with him to get with Vegeta. Yamcha, yes. Yamcha. Other than Dragon Ball Z, a whole bunch of things. What was the name of that show? Inuyasha, also based on Journey to the West. Instead of trying to get the scrolls to bring enlightenment, they're trying to get the shards of the, orb pearl thingy. And Tripitaka is once again been gender bent into Kagome, and Sun Wukong is Inuyasha. Alright, so now that we've got that done, we're going to do this base coat of yellow on any part of his actual scaly body. Some of him is still wet, but it looks like it's going to be mostly the clothes, so that's good for us, because we're not doing the clothes yet. So, and as long as we can get this underside done, that is going to be good for us, because then I can just glue it onto the base, and then I can just hold the base from then on and it'll be fine. So, put a little dot of our yellow, and we're going to get one of our smaller brushes. Don't want it too small because we do want to cover some area. I'll try this one out, see if this works. So, I need to, actually, it's pretty thin on its own. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just blot it and do a little dry. And yeah. So what we're doing is we will put normal green paint on top, but we're doing an undercoat of yellow to give it a kind of a glowy, shiny feel to it. So that's what we're going to do with his scales. Kind of give it that dangerous acid look. I know they breathe acid. They don't just secrete it from all their pores between scales, but this will give it that menacing look that we want. Who knows? Maybe Scott doesn't want to have a menacing look, but that's the way he was born. He's stuck with it. And so we have like the juxtaposition of a really nice, quiet guy who is relegated to enforcer because he's just so big and scary looking. I do need to get more NPCs, both human to fill out some of the jobs, and non-human, because I do have a lot of like non-human NPCs. I got like town guards, I got like some bakers, and like servants, and peasants and stuff like that. And I got like some kings and queens and heralds and stuff, but I need to get some what's it called? Like some of the other jobs, stable guy and blacksmith, and then I need to also get some like non-human NPCs. I want like a Dragonborn librarian's got little glasses on his nose. Alright, that's looking good. That is looking good for that tail. Alright, let's see if we can get it to focus. Bones has some good cheap NPC minis. I want to say I got a lot of Bones stuff. I do actually have a lot of Bones stuff. I don't know if I have any Bones stuff on the table right now. Maybe the goblins. I think the goblins are Bones. But yeah, they do have some really good stuff, and I need to look and see if there's like a pack that has all the stuff I need, or at least most of the stuff I need. But yeah, Bones is a good brand for minis. Alright, we're gonna get this. He's already coming to life. I remember when I made a Dragonborn Barbarian from a former player before he brought immersion a little too much into our gaming session with the realistic battle damage and whatnot. But he wanted a Dragonborn, his black scales, and it was really hard to get that black scale without just looking flat. Now I have better techniques and can do that, but at the time I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. With authentic battle damage. I strive for realism in my game and a good sense of immersion, but I think that might have been too much immersion. Oh, there was still some wet black paint up there. So that's the bottom of it, so it's not really like it's that big a deal unless someone's going through and just looking at my underside of my minis, in which case there's a bigger issue at play. Let me see if I can blot this. That's still kind of wet. There. Yeah, I'm not too picky about where I get my minis from. I do try to save money and be frugal when I can. Sometimes you need a specific mini for a thing, so you have to splurge a little bit. Like when I got the whatchamacallit, Krampus minifigurine for that Christmas one shot. But that worked out well. And then I don't know, like with the way that Wizards of the Coast is being here recently, I try to avoid buying their specific brand of things, but sometimes they have stuff that's just too good to pass up because of needs of my games. So I end up getting it anyways, but I do try to go for the other brands first. I need to remember to grab some whatchamacallums, Q-tips. So that would help out a lot. That's still wet too. I think I might have put on the black a little thick. Yep. Put it on a little thick. It's okay. I can fix it. Just make it part of the lore. he still has some right there. Ah. Need a blotter. We need a blotter. There we go. Maybe when I get to the States and I have a bigger place, I can get like some a 3D printer and I have more room. I can just make my own minis. It'd be much cheaper. I'd still probably end up buying some specific ones, especially if they were like the bigger minis. But oh man. There. A little bit more. I'm running low. Alright. Remember, folks, multiple thin layers is bigger than one thick layer. So much better. You can always put more on, but it's harder to take it off again. No, dip your mini in the pot. Yeah, I mean, you could. It's fine. Just, if that's how you want to do it, power to you. Make it like an Easter egg. Have it all multicolored and layered like an Easter egg. It all depends on what you want to do with your mini. Like, if you want it to be more realistic, probably wouldn't do that. You want it to just be colorful and be a fashion statement, that'd probably work fine. I don't know why, but for some reason with this mini, I get this like Shredder Xenomorph crossover kind of feel. Like the Xenomorph I get from like the tail being the way it is. I don't know why I get a Shredder vibe. Or speaking of Shredder, there's a game out called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. It's like the old style arcade Turtles game with like better graphics and things. It's really fun. You get to play as Shredder as a character to unlock. I want to say April O'Neil too, but you can also be Splinter and Casey, which is really cool. But this winter, they're also adding a new playable character called Usagi Yojimbo, which is really freaking cool. He's been a long time guest star for the TMNT brothers in their comics, and I want to say he was in a couple of the shows too. But so he's going to be a playable character. They're going to have like new game modes and skins and. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. uh, DLC dropping. Um, I'm also looking forward to next year when the Destiny DLC drops and they bring Cade back, because I was heartbroken when he left. Kind of stopped playing, not because of that, just because. But now that he's going to be back, my interest is peaked again. So probably gonna pick that back up and get that DLC. I promised I would never would, but then they brought back like my favorite character. So probably do that next year. Let's see. What else we got? It's so much easier to keep up with stream chat when I'm painting rather than playing a video game. Which I'll probably do again. Like, I've done it a couple times. And it's fun, but this is something that I need to do because I have so many unpainted minis. Just so many. And I need to get them painted and ready to go. But also wanted to show off techniques and art and things like that. Excuse me. Get people interested, because art's just kind of dying off these days. Everybody wants to give money to sports or science, which, I mean, that's important. Sports is good for physical fitness, and it's exciting, and it also rakes in a bunch of money. I just wish they would spread it around that school a little bit. Every time sports brings in money, the athlete's the only one who gets it. Give the science team some new microscopes and stuff. Don't just be stingy with them and then have brand new freaking locker rooms for the athletes. Like, yeah, the sport is one bringing in the money, and pamper them a little bit, but you're a place of learning, colleges, or you're supposed to be a place of learning, universities. Show that a little bit. But even then, like, science and technology and mathematics, also important. And they're the next ones to get money after sports. But the arts keep getting forgotten and pushed to the wayside, and it's just not. We need science in order to survive. We need art in order to live. It's important. I know it doesn't seem that way to some people, but it is important. And if I can inspire one person to start doing art, or inspire one person to pick it back up again, then I will count myself as to have succeeded in what I'm doing. That's why I'm streaming rather than just painting these things on my own. To teach and to help inspire. Look at that. He's already looking kind of menacing. Oh, some of that paint came off his face. That's okay. He's going to be kind of glowing. See, that's why you got to wait till things are dry before doing that. Maybe don't put paint on so thick so it dries faster. That's my fault. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Put this on his face. Oh, sorry. Came off the stream a little bit. So, I'm going to put this glow in his mouth to show like he can spit the acid. And then I'm not going to cover that up with anything. I'm going to blot the mouth. But yeah, I think from now on, for the ones that I'm going to do Sorry. I think from now on, for the ones I'm going to do, uh, the base coat of whatever color I'm going to do the base coat in, I'm going to go ahead and put that on there before the stream, so it's all dry during the stream, and then I'll just explain that I just painted it all black for base coat purposes, because it took up a lot of time today. It took nearly an hour, and it's still not all dry yet. Oh, it's not all dry yet. Oh, that is unfortunate. Thought it was dry. Alright, see the parts of the face that... Sorry. See the parts of the base coating is boring. Boring needs company. Alright, so you see the parts of the face here where... Come on. Focus. Focus. Where it's like white now. That's from where the black was not dry. And the paint came off. So, gotta be careful about that. I just make his face be canonically brighter and be done with it. Alright, so I'm going to put the glow on the inside of the mouth to show that he spits acid. But I'm not going to cover up that with anything like I am the scales. And I might need to go back and put some more in there. It is not wanting to catch. Alright. I'm going to cover the scales in green, but the horns I'm going to leave as like this yellow on the black, and I think that's going to give it a nice little contrast between the scales and the horns. Spikes? I'm not entirely certain what that would be called. Spines? Well, it's not these, I guess. I mean, I don't know. But yeah. So I think that'll give it a nice little contrast between the green yellow and then like the yellow black. So we'll see how that goes. And if it comes time and it's not a good look, I can always just go back with the green and it'll be fine. Again, it's easier to add paint later than it is to... there. Than it is to take paint off. If you guys hear buzzing, it's because someone is messaging me. Gotta be careful. Yeah, the guy I made the Dragonborn Barbarian for, he wanted a hammer, which none of the Barbarian Dragonborn minis came with a hammer. But I did find a Dragonborn Paladin who had heavy armor and came with a hammer. So what I did was I took my Dremel and took all the armor off of him and turned him into an unarmored Barbarian with a hammer. And then painted him black, and he wanted black eyes too, so there was like no contrast to this guy. Would have been better to make him a rogue. Right. Okay. A little bit more. Yeah, I should link my Bastion YouTube to this streaming program I've got so that I can stream YouTube as well as Twitch. I already connected my TikTok to here. Unfortunately, I don't have the 1,000 followers I need in order to live stream through a computer for TikTok. Why I need 1,000 followers to live stream there and not from the phone, I don't know, but that's just how they work things. So I need to get a bit more followers on TikTok before I can live stream from the computer. Okay, let's see. Alright, there's some underarm that's got his scales. And then his fingers are also his scales. I'm gonna have to get out a smaller brush. So this is too big a brush for what I'm doing. Okay. That's too small. Too small a brush. It's not working. So, anybody on stream listen to Jinja? She's a German singer. And listen to her songs. I really like them. I don't know why, but I've never particularly cared for German accents other than just the typical jokes about German accents. But the singer Jinja and then a VTuber that I can't remember the name of at the moment has kind of turned me on to the German accent a little bit. Like, it's kind of nice and sweet for them. Ginger's newest song is one of those, I guess, hip hop versions of Dr. Seuss. So they put like a beat down and they read a Dr. Seuss book, and it's like the German version of Socks on Box, I think, or Socks on Fox, or something like that. And it's just stuck in my head right now, and that's why I mention it. No, I'm not on stream again. I apologize. See, this is why I want it over my shoulder, so when I bring it to my face so I can see what I'm doing, it'll still be on stream. Who's calling me? I don't know that number. Wrong number. Okay, maybe not a wrong number. One moment, guys. Hello? I'm okay. Who is this? Please take me off your calling list. Unbelievable. It's a Skype number. Why are you freaking calling me? Ugh. Telemarketers are calling us Skype numbers now. Alright, I'm gonna put a little bit on the inside of his arms. That's definitely flesh. Alright. Let's see. German can sound very elegant. That's true. That is true. It can sound very elegant, and it's just Jinja and that VTuber that I just cannot remember the name for at the moment. She's got like white hair. Or her model has white hair. Actually, I saw a face reveal the other day. Actually, technically, it wasn't really a reveal because it's one of her first videos, but one of her newer videos is like, people keep asking me for one, and if you just go to my page, there's one. It's like one of the first videos. She's quite pretty, but I like her videos. They're very sweet. And one of my favorite VTubers, Shy Lily. She's also German, but she speaks like with a different German accent. She says she's never going to speak German on stream because all the jokes that start happening whenever that she does. And I'm like, well, fair enough. But she says she's from a different part of Germany that has a than the typical German accent that everyone thinks of. Shy Lily's got long hair. I haven't had a face reveal for her, but she has revealed how long her hair is. Chiara is Austrian. She speaks German. I don't know who Chiara is, but I'll have to look her up. Is that a VTuber? Is that just like a singer? I don't know. Yes, from Hololive. Oh, okay. Cool. I think I've got all the flash cover. Nope. Missed a spot. Yep, missed several spots like that. All on that arm. You know, I used to always wonder why the whatchamacallit, Warhammer minis came in pieces when you could just make it in one piece, like with the D&D and Pathfinder minis. Now I know. It would be so much easier to paint this if this were in pieces and then glue it together after I paint. I am taking off bits and pieces of his paint. I need to be more careful. Gripping it too tight, trying to keep it steady. so much easier if this is in pieces, which I guess technically I could put it in pieces and it just wouldn't look right when I put it back together. So, alright. Some on his throat. These people like to paint them on sprue. And what is this? What is this? What's a sprue? Glue a leg to a... Oh, okay. I gotcha. Ah, that wasn't dry. Oh. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I think I've got everything more or less painted for his scales. Put a little extra layer on. These guys. Repaint parts that I took off by accident. And it's okay to make mistakes. You can always just paint over them. Don't really. The downside is you get a mountain of junk plastic and extra bits that feel awful to throw out. That's true. That is true. And I've been thinking about ways to repurpose those as like scaffolding and bits to recycle and reuse those, so it's not so much of a waste. But it is a lot easier to paint them when they're in pieces. Maybe I can get some kind of Teflon thing to melt it into and then just shape it. I don't know. So one of my players today used to be a player and DM, but he hasn't done it since 3.5, and oh boy, I let him borrow my player's handbook so he could make his character and learn about the new system. So this is gonna be fun. So I got one brand new player who's never played before, whose character has, you might like Pathfinder. Yeah, that's true. And one of these days I'm going to read through Pathfinder and learn that so I can use that. But, I don't know that system, and my other players who have played before don't know that system. So we're going with 5e. But I do have Pathfinder 2e. Just haven't learned it yet. Sorry. I gotta get a different spot for this camera so that I don't keep doing that. This guy's design kind of reminds me of the ogres from Dragon Age. It has been a long time since I've played Dragon Age, so I don't remember what the ogres look like. Last Dragon Age I played was Dragon Age 2, which was not exactly universally liked. This side of his face has not been done. What color should I make his eyes? I'm not going to do it right now, but just for future reference. We're going to have a yellow-green scales, yellow-black horn spine thingies. Probably like a gray brown with some blue for like the cloth. I think it may be blue eyes to go with the cloth. Let's see. Alright, so that's going to be, and I might not need to put in a green. It looks pretty green already. I don't know if you can see that. Bright green, blue, or red would pop out really good. Yeah, that's true. Let me put another layer on his tail. I want to see what happens if I just make it really kind of thick on here. Yellow's a hard layer. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I don't want him like super bright, but it's looking a little green, so I might not need to put green on. I might do it just to make the glow patchy. Yeah. What's really funny about yellow and white is that, especially with yellow, yellow will take over any color if you mix it. So it might not cover that well, but mixing just everything ends up yellow. I think next week, instead of painting minis, I'll build one of my Gundams. Yellow is your favorite color and it's so hard to work with. That does suck. It's so hard to work with. My favorite color is green, and it's really hard to find clothes in a good green color. Everything's like this weird, like yellow green or like a puke green or just bright neon green. Which, don't get me wrong, I like a neon green, but like for clothing, for the base color, I would prefer like a forest green. They're way too faded or way too neon. Yeah. But we're gonna try to get this. This guy will be dedicated to you. We're gonna get a good yellow on this guy. That's what we're gonna do. Still gonna do a green kind of look to the scales, but that yellow that's underneath, that's what we're gonna do. He's gonna be the Skeller Dragon, the Skellerborn. I forgot the hand was new. It's not. Alright. So. See, it's 8:50. I got 1 hour left on stream. It also doesn't help that this is like a glow in the dark yellow, so it's not gonna coat the same way as like a regular yellow either. Alright, so going to do is we're going to paint these spines one more time. And maybe go over the legs. And then we'll move on to a different character to let everything dry properly. And we'll come back on the next painting stream to finish this guy up. I'll do a work in progress pro tip. Yellow struggles basing in tan or gray. Okay, we will try that next time. We will try that next time. Tan or gray. Oh no. Yep. So this is what happens when you don't wait for things to dry and then you accidentally touch a part that's not dry yet. But yeah, if any of my viewers or of the streams or the videos on YouTube ever want to check it out, go to Kappa Castle in Okinawa, and really cool dude running it, and he has some good stock. Yeah, I think everyone is. And that's part of the reason that this is going to come in handy. But the problem is he doesn't have a base to hold on to with that. So it's a lot easier when you have one of those things holding it. And you don't have to worry about accidentally touching all the spots. And I'll be using that for like my other pieces so that I don't do that. But this one's just a difficult piece to work with for that. But what we're going to do is, because I'm mostly a storyteller and I dabble in the visual arts, we're going to work in these pieces of paint that's come off from my mistakes into the lore of this character. He will have some sort of skin or scale abnormality. You know, like those people that have like the I don't know what it's called. I used to know what it was called, but it's when they have like large parts of their skin are covered in what looks like a giant moles, like there's just multi colored skin. It looks it's got dragon leprosy. Well, not leprosy. I don't know about leprosy, but maybe, you know, might need to lop off a finger or something. But yeah, could be. Anyways, he'll have something like that, and that's why some of his scales are brighter than others. And he has embraced it. In his younger days, he was ashamed because he didn't have the pure color of the scales like his brothers did. But now, he doesn't hide it anymore. He has embraced this. And even though a lot of his Dragonborn kin kind of, hey, you should cover that up. You don't have like just a solid scale color. Like other races, well, elves don't care, but other races like dwarves and especially humans, especially like human children, they're like, oh wow, you got like multiple color scales. This is really cool. Look, this one's different, and he just really likes that, and that's why he protects the towns with like, especially with children and stuff. He'll walk around and travel and find towns that have troubles and help them out because humans are nice to him. We might not be nice to each other, but they are nice to him, especially the children. So he wants to protect them. Alright. So this will be the last bit of touching up we do for this guy. We'll move on to one of the other ones while he dries. I wish I could figure out how to purchase the company of non-Dragonborn. Yes, exactly. So I've seen pictures of the people with that skin condition that I was mentioning earlier, and they like got tattoos not to cover up the parts, but to circle around it. Like they tattoo and outline it, and it looks really freaking cool. Like it highlights it and it makes it kind of look like a map. Like it looks really cool. So if you ever want to look up something that looks pretty neat, that's what I would suggest. Alright, so we're going to set this guy to the side. Let him do his drying thing. And then we'll rinse out our brushes. And we'll come over to... Got me in a painting mood. My new crayons are miles away from me. Did you order some and you're just waiting for them to come in? Alright. I don't know why I got these metal guys. I don't really like the metal ones. Alright, I'm going to go and paint these wood guys. We got some wood on our bastions, and then we got a bunch of wood here, so we're going to paint the wood and get that done over. I got 2 boxes of Scorpec Destroyers. Is that like their version of like the box mechs from the Imperium? Scorpec Destroyers, put them in my desk. Fool! Alright, let's see. Real brown. Yeah, I really like some of the stuff that I get from like Kickstarter, but I hate how long it takes to be able to get the item. Like I've got a really cool dice tower. Oh, crab legs and big swords. Cool. Got like a dice tower coming from Wormwood, which their stuff is really cool, but their stuff is really expensive. But yeah, I've got like a dice tower coming in. I'm looking forward to using. But I've had that thing ordered for like 6 months. Well, I mostly just order from Kickstarter if it's like a company that's done things before. Like I got the Seeker's Guide to Twisted Taverns, which is what my players are going to be playing through. which most of their stuff is really good. I liked it. I liked the book. I got like the full edition, kind of got all of it. But uh, the resin dice set and accompanying bag were not what was shown, and it just kind of looked like snot for the dice. And the mug was not well constructed. It looks nice, but the handle came right off. But other than that, I didn't really have a problem with it. And then I got something else from Kickstarter, and then I have ordered the Wormwood dice tower, and also a little counter thing for like the bosses. Has like health and magic slots and layer actions and things like that. Help me keep track of it. And then I also have on Kickstarter ordered the Monty Python D&D thing. So looking forward to that one a lot. Sugar peach. I need a red brick. That'll work. Okay, so we're going to go for a couple of different kinds of wood. That's why I grabbed a bunch of different browns. I will need... That's silver. I don't need silver. That's silver. Pewter gray. It's black. Because there's some metal bits on here that I need to be able to color properly. So we'll use this. Yeah, we'll use this pewter gray for the metal bits. Brushed black. No, we're going to use this brushed black for the metal bits. But yeah, I'm wary of the stuff on Kickstarter, so I usually just get stuff from established companies, ones who have done things before. But yeah, so looking forward to getting those last few items. Alright, so we're going to get this guy first. So what we need, I'm going to try it. What's left of this yellow? Cool. And we'll put down this burnt umber. Just got about an hour left of the stream before I have to get off. I can prep for what's left of the day. We should be able to get some of these guys done. Especially these wood pieces, because it's just wood and some metal, so it shouldn't take too much. Might be able to finish one of the bastions. Alright, here we go. Water it down. It is kind of thick. That's what she said. Need to paint this whole thing black so that I know what it looks like, or maybe like in pieces, some of it white, some of it gray, some of it black, some of it like blue or something, so that I can see what this paint will look like on the colors that I'm doing. Water it down so I can do this. Hoping it'll dry pretty dark. It's burnt umber is the color I'm using. So, this is the... Come on, focus. Anyways, it's apple barrel burnt umber. I gotta figure out that focus issue. Which, when I start painting canvases again, I'll do that on stream as well. I haven't done canvas painting in, I don't even remember the last time I did a canvas painting. Probably in school. I miss it. So the things about school I miss. I was happy then. I don't want to go back to school, but just the company I was keeping. It's just so nice. Anyways, burnt umber is the brown that I use for my paint mixing. And burnt umber is the color I use in order to mix my black color. So... For this, for like minis, I just use black. I just get black paint. But for like my canvas paintings, you definitely want to mix your black. It gives so much more life to it than just having black paint. So for the Kickstarter for the Wormwood Dice Tower, it was really just a way for them to do pre-orders. Like, you still ended up buying it from the store itself, but the Kickstarter lets you get like a discount for pre-ordering. So it wasn't necessarily like the Kickstarter was what I was buying from for that one. Yeah, boy. See if I can get it to focus. Come on, bud, focus. There. Oh, look at that. go. Oh, look at that wood band around the middle. That looks fantastic. Just cover up a little bit right there. Took off too much. That looks great. Alright. On to the next wood part. And that base coat of black lets me do that little scrape off technique and just makes it so much more realistic, and that's why I do the base coat of black. Now, I did leave this one so that we can maybe kind of see if we can recreate it, but yeah. I'm off stream again. Do that so we can get here. We don't need to be too careful. We can get it on the bands. It's fine. I can just do that. So we can go a little faster. We don't need to be like ultra careful. There's like a bit of hair. There we go. Blot it out a little bit. There we go. So come September, I won't really be doing any of these streams. I might stream like a travel thing. I'm going to be going on vacation, so I'm not really going to be doing any art streams in September, except maybe the last weekend. But I might do like, maybe not here, but on like TikTok, stream what I'm doing. I don't know, because I don't really like doing it out in public. Yeah. Hey man, if I could, I would. Be going, if you've played Ghost of Tsushima, I'm going to be going to Tsushima. I'm going to be going to Nagasaki and seeing that arch that survived the blast. And then I'm going to be going to Yokohama, or not Yokohama, Fukuoka, to see the third and final Gundam in Japan, or Gundam statue in Japan. The new Gundam. So looking forward to that. God damn it, I'm not on stream again. Yeah, I don't like doing it out in public. Not because I'm ashamed of streaming, but because, like, every time I see people streaming, I just think, or streaming out in public, I just think it just looks like they're inconveniencing other people on the sidewalks, and I don't want to be like that. So, maybe if there's like a not abandoned, but lonely enough spot, I can like show off some of the visuals I'm looking at in Japan. But also in September or in October, I'm going to be going to Kyoto. God, going to Kyoto and um, Nara and Osaka. So looking forward to that because I finally get to go see the Todaiji Temple that I did a paper on in college. So I get to go see that. Super, super excited. Looking forward to that. My barrel's looking fantastic. It's hard to see right now. I'll give you a better visual in just a second when I get this last band. But it's looking really good. You can see it a little bit. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Looks so good. I'm trying not to fill in the gaps between the quote-unquote planks too much. Because I want that dark shadow. Thank you, Bruv4201. Do you have any wash paint from Skellerman? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Not even sure exactly what that is. Is that like the highlight over top of everything kind of paint? Alright, so I'm going to go and touch up a little bit where it's got like the white spots. And then make sure that's done. I don't want it to be uniform, which is why I scraped off so I can see the black underneath. But the white is just not doing it for me. It looks sloppy, like I missed a spot. So, just want to make sure it doesn't look sloppy. It's a really liquid paint, which is supposed to be cool and oh, yeah, okay. I don't. I got this stuff. It says contrast. Uh, well, I have Citadel paints, but for these guys, I'm just using like folk art and apple barrel and deco art, and they're really cheap paints. For some of my more detailed and special ones, I'm going to try to use Citadel, but Citadel is really expensive. You get what you pay for, but it is really expensive. And part of this series is to show the differences between different ways of doing things. Pick up a shade paint called Nuln Oil and Seraphim Sepia. It's fantastic. It's literally liquid talent. I will look into that. Let me see. I've got Imperial Fist, Guilliman Flesh, Skeleton Horde, Azurman Blue, Black Legion, Snakebite Leather, Gutripa Flesh, and Apothecary something. White. Some no propaganda. It's not that I'm against trying it, and I definitely I bought those paints to try and see what they can do, and whether or not I can copy that with a cheaper alternative. Because not everyone's going to have access to those paints, and even if they do have access, not everyone's going to have money to use them on everything. So I'm going to do things like using it on this character, because I have. So, just as an aside, these two guys are exactly the same. They're the same thing. But one, I'm doing my technique on, and the other one, I'm going to use the Citadel paints on, and we'll see how it turns out. And whether or not I can do a cheaper technique with a little more work and make it look just as good as the ones with the one with the better paints. So that anyone getting involved in this, and it's like they save up all their money and they get like one of the things for the Warhammer, which are kind of expensive, and they get the thing and now they want to paint it. Well, they don't have any money left over for the paints, but maybe they got Walmart paints at home, so to show how well that works. And to show how to do it. So they're like, can I do it? Yes. Well, check out these videos, and this is how you do it. So it's not that I have anything against Citadel paints or taking an easier option that might cost a little more. It's just that not everyone's going to have that ability to get those. I know I didn't before I got my current job. So I just want everyone to have the chance and the inspiration and the ability to learn the techniques to be able to make their own art if they wish. Because art is dying out, unfortunately. From corporate greed to people just wanting to take the easy way out to get things out of the way, to government cutting funding to art programs in schools, to the new AI stuff. Have you seen what Photoshop can do, filling in like seconds or minutes what would take a normal Photoshopper like hours to do? I'm not saying AI is taking over the art industry. I'm just saying, like, with the way corporate and government entities are, it's definitely going to cut out some of the people, and that's sad. especially when it's the making of the art, not necessarily the enjoyment of it, that is the important part. Come on, focus. Focus. Swear to God, if you don't focus. I have an autofocus feature. Use it. You've almost got it. Every time I think I've got it, it wants to focus on my hand rather than on the object. You can kind of see it. This is why I'm going to be putting up pictures from these streams and whatnot onto my Instagram, so that you can see like the close-ups, since focus doesn't freaking work. Yeah, my current job might allow me to be able to get these minis and these paints and all the other nerd stuff that I've got going on. But I've had, it's not delivery, it's to struggle meals before. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that even if you are in that place in your life, you can still make your own art. Because appreciating art and seeing like things like watching videos of people doing paintings, or going to look at paintings, or reading a comic, playing a video game, all of that's art. And that's breathing in. But you eventually got to breathe back out again. And that's part of the process. It helps you stay alive because it empties the lungs of all the stuff that your body can't use, and give space to bring in the stuff that your body can use. But that exhale also helps the plants and the world around you. Because without plants making the oxygen we breathe, it's not going to do any good if we have the ability to breathe. Appreciating art is breathing in. Doing art is breathing out again. You gotta have people making art. You gotta make some yourself, even if it's small. Even if it's making yourself a necklace, or making a nice breakfast, or throwing a party for friends. Gotta have some kind of outlet for some sort of creative art. Hopefully do for boon humanities. I want more appreciation for art philosophies. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like practicality of things as much as the next person, but sometimes you gotta do impractical things, even if it is for a practical reason, like breathing a little bit of life into your life. Because you need it. Like, you don't want it to be this soulless thing. Just going to work and coming home and eating and then going to bed. Maybe watching something on the news. Like, that's not life. That's just... Practicality has its place. Exactly. Almost went off stream again. I need to turn up this light. Can't see. There we go. Now I can see. I need to go grab Q-tip. Please excuse me while I do that. I need to be able to wipe off specific spots. I will be right back. I'm grabbing a Q-tip. Oh, my legs were not ready for that. You know what? I'm not even listening to anything. I don't need the headphones on right now. Alright. Nope. This one. I dried really quickly. It's okay. I'll put some details in later. Man, it's still not dry? What the fuck? No, the Q-tip's too big. It won't fit. Alright. To the wash tank discussion. Unless you're on a pre-done wash. Blue black paint water. Fair enough. I'll try that. I'll try that on one of my next ones. So, for the YouTube video that's not going to have this discussion, the comments, Skellerman said, to the wash paint discussion, if you don't want to spend money on pre-done wash, you can dilute, I think he meant dilute, black paint with water to a consistency you like until it does what a wash does. And we will see what a wash does on a later video. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen videos where they do that. And you can look that up if you want to. But I will show that on stream on one of my next ones. So. paint's going to be a little thick on this box, but I I do not have the time nor the patience to do 1,000 layers on the inside of this. Like, that's just, that's too much. I'm not doing that. Alright. Okay. So, this chest that he's sitting on has got some details on it, and I will be painting in the. Oh, really? You're gonna be like hyper focused right there, and then you're gonna unfocus. There we go. Yeah. Anyways, so I'll be painting in those details at a later time. Once I figure out what color I want those details to be. Thinking maybe gold or bronze. Loving the content. I'm gonna go pick up some dinner, so I'll catch you next time. See how our boy Bastard is going. Well, I'm glad to have had you on stream. I appreciate your viewership, and yeah, um, we'll see you later, Skell. Yeah. I appreciate the compliment, bruv. If you're still viewing from earlier, I know I got a little distracted, and I apologize for that. But I do appreciate the compliment for the detail of these minis and how I'm painting them. I can't really take a lot of credit for the detail of the minis themselves. Because I didn't actually make the minis, but the painting I can take a compliment for that one. I need to make some more Bastion videos on TikTok. I did like 2 or 3 of them, and I need to make some more to fill out his lore. Okay. So I'm gonna make his hair brown. Alright. I think that's all the brown on him. So let's see. It's 9:45. We got about 15 minutes left before stream ends. Hope my viewer is doing okay. Hope you're having a good day or night or morning, whatever time of day it is in the world you are. So with this guy, he's got like this shirt, and he's got like an undershirt. The overshirt's a short sleeve shirt, and then he's got this belt strap, bandolier style, and then he's got this belt here. Now I'm painting all of this brown, but then I'm going to go back and paint the bandolier and the belt a different color so that it stands out. It's not just blah. The running joke for like things like steampunk, which this guy's not steampunk, he's Magitech, but same general aesthetic, is that steampunk is what happens when goths discover the color brown, because with goths everything is black, with steampunk everything seems to turn to brown, mostly because of the leather, the smog and stuff making everything sepia toned, and then copper's sort of like a yellow brown color, so it's like, and bronze, like everything's going to be yellow, or it's going to be brown, which is unfortunate, because if you really look at it with the high Victorian era that steampunk is doing, you're going to have these bright colors, with like uh, reds and blues and things like that. Most of the time, if people are doing a steampunk story, they're going to be with the lower class fixing stuff. So yeah, the leather for protection and everything is going to be brown. But you can add splashes of color in there. It's going to be okay. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some splashes of color in on this guy. And when I get to that point. Andy is probably going to be like a gray, like a cookies and cream color. Much like the dog Baratheon he was modeled after. I loved that dog. He was a good dog. Wasn't my dog, technically. He was my ex's dog. He was a good dog. He loved me more. So he belonged to her, but he liked me more. I miss the both of them, but it's just how life is. It doesn't always turn out how you want. But my fictional self of Bastion and his fictional self of Andy will be able to hang out much longer. Sort of. There we go. Oh, almost forgot his hair and goggles. That wouldn't have been good. Oops, I went a little low on that. I mean to I'm off stream again. I'm sorry. I think maybe next week I'm going to move the microphone over there and then have this over my shoulder. And we'll see how that works. Hopefully it'll work better. So there we go. There's that. Now I only have a few minutes left. Let's get some of these other wooden objects painted. Hoping maybe I'll start picking up viewers. Maybe next week. I know I'm not the most interesting person in the world to listen to or to watch paint. Especially when like the first hour of this was just doing the base paint. Which I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do all the base paints beforehand. That way I don't bore you guys with that mess. And we can get started right into the actual coloring for it. Okay. So sometimes I'll put this paint on a little bit thick, and I just need to wipe it off. Now I can grab like a paper towel, and I'll do that sometimes. I'll do that most of the time. Every once in a while, I'll put it on a little thick. I need to wipe it off. It's just straight brown. I don't know if you can see that. It's just straight brown. What I do is I just wipe a little bit. I don't push down. Just kind of put my hand down on it, and then it comes out as a nice textured brown and black, which is one of the reasons why I painted it black to begin with, so I can get that darker color. Now, in order to avoid that, you're supposed to like put it in the paint and then fucking do this, and that takes out some of that coloring, some of that paint. And then don't press down so hard, but sometimes I just forget to do that, or it's just quicker to do it this way. Alright, so I'm going to do half of it where I just kind of brush on top of it. I'll do the other half where I do it thicker and brush it off. And you'll see the difference between the two. So now it's on there thick, and then not quite as thick. So now you can see is whatever. Now you can see. Maybe if I turn down the light a little bit, you'll see it better. Alright, there we go. My I think you can see the details on this side, but it just looks kind of black. This side, I scrape it a little bit more. What I need to do, that's why I have one of these guys. Well, technically I have one of these guys because it's one of the tools I used in ceramics class. So I just clean out this. So, see what happened is you get more detail on this side, and with the scraping and stuff on this side, it did not turn out so good. So, if you need something quick and dirty, you can do it the first or this way. I'm going to cover up some of that white. It also looks slightly different in person than it does on camera, because like your eyes can pick up all of that detail. but it on camera. So if you're worried about how it's going to look on stream, you might need to do it the first way. If you want it to look good in person, do it the second way, my way. Because, not because it's my way, but because the first way is too much black going on underneath. And it's not wanting to, not looking like wood because it's all black. So that's how to do that. There we go. I got some wood going on. Go to the other side. Now, obviously, this is just for certain things. It's not the same technique for everything. It's not gonna be the same technique for absolutely everything you do. Otherwise, everything's just gonna look kind of blah and bland and samey. Touch up there, bam, look at that. You don't want it to look blonde, bland, and samey. Well, maybe you do. Maybe that's the look you're going for. But if you don't want it to look blonde, bland, and samey, you gotta differ the technique for whatever material you're using and the style of world you're building. So for me, I do it in a basic, like high, medium fantasy world. Maybe not high fantasy because that's really clean, but like a middle fantasy, I think, would be best. It's grounded, but it's not dirty and gritty. So, what I'll do is I'll just paint these guys to look as realistic as possible without spending just hundreds of hours painting every little detail. You gotta take the cheats where you can. Like if you don't have those hundreds of hours to paint every little detail and every little thing, because I've got hundreds of these minis, people, creatures, vehicles, like I've got hundreds of these things. I don't have enough time to do every single little detail on everything. So you gotta know how to spread out that work. So, well, for instance, one of the art books that I read a long time ago, I think I still have that art book, but it was talking about drawing dragons. Now, your first instinct is to just cover them in scales, which, first of all, that's a lot of work, depending on how big on the paper this dragon is. Second of all, it's not gonna look as good. It's just gonna be so busy. So you know, you kind of don't want to do that. What you want to do is draw scales in appropriate places in a pattern so that the human eye and human brain fills out the rest. And it will, trust me. The human brain is amazing, and I don't know how we've survived. Human brain will fill in those. So if you just put a few repeating pattern of scales on like the head and a little bit of the neck, and then like the body, maybe like the legs some, it will, the human brain will fill in the rest of the body with scales, even though the rest of the body doesn't have scales. Same thing with same thing with whatchamacallit, with painting these minis. You want to put in the details so that people can appreciate the details. You don't have time to do it for everything. And sometimes every single detail will just make it all look busy, and then it just looks like a mess. So what you do is you pick which details you want to show, like the very important ones. And those are the ones you're going to spend the time on. And the rest of it, you're going to just kind of make it look like it's got scales, because those other parts have scales. Now there's a term for that technique. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. There's a term for that technique. But yeah, so like you can just see, like this just doesn't look good. Like it's just kind of blah. Yeah, now it's a little darker. It's got a little like lines and stuff going on. God, I really wish I need to figure out how to get this thing to like focus on what I want to focus on, so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Alright, 2 sides and then stream is over. I'll miss you guys for a week. I'm going to try to do this weekly. So I'll see you guys next Saturday morning or Friday evening, depending on when you watch in your time. And obviously that's for stream purposes. The recording will go up on YouTube, and it'll be watching it maybe in the future, far future, like in a year or two, maybe like the same day. Maybe you just never watch it. I don't know. Maybe you don't go on YouTube. Maybe I'm just not that good. But ta-da! Come on, you. Focus. Stop focusing on my hand and focus on the actual item I'm holding. All right. Well, I thank you for coming to my art stream. I do appreciate it. I will see you hopefully in a week. Hopefully this time will work better for me, so that I can actually do things on a weekly basis like I want to. I'm incredibly washed out. I'm gonna just... That's better. So yeah, see you then, and have a good week, guys. This is Horatio Bastion Wells the Third, signing off. Night, and good luck.